Vengeance, welcome to today's show. A subscriber here on YouTube brought this to my attention, and I wanted to cover it, not because I'm saying it's going to happen, but I just want to bring attention to it because there is a lot of predictive programming around big football games and events happening. Now, we could see what's going on in our political spectrum. Of course, it's more like a political simulation that's going on, but this headline that caught a subscriber's attention also caught mine. NFL announcer Joe Buck predicts a bad story will come out of Super Bowl 58. Quote, it won't stay in Vegas. Another headline from him, and what he said also says there will be a Vegas-related mess. Now, again, this isn't me saying something is going to happen, but we always have to look at these stories. Every year I cover the Super Bowl, and there's usually all of these stories out there. You could go do a Google search yourself about a terror event and the Super Bowl and how, the government is worried that an event will happen, and then we hear all these stories about, it's a perfect target for an event, et cetera, et cetera. And actually, this year of all years, when we're seeing this mess in this country, the open border psyop that they're obviously gaslighting people into, which would serve as a perfect opportunity for an event, you don't hear anything. The only thing that you see about, a terror event and the Super Bowl is articles from years past. 2022, Super Bowl 46 is a potentially attractive target was the headline for a terror event. I covered it back then. We obviously saw the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers, who were in this game again, and the Baltimore Ravens, where they shut the power off for 33 minutes during a satanic ritual during the actual Super Bowl. So things are getting crazier and crazier by the day, and the psyops are just so out every day. Out in the open, these false flags are happening almost every day. So it shouldn't surprise us if we see one. And the reason I'm covering this again is to just bring attention to this because of the predictive programming behind it. I'm going to show you a compilation of clips that use the Super Bowl or a huge football game, quote, championship game, as a backdrop for a terror event. There are movies like Black Sunday, where the plot is a blimp pilot who has endured the horrors of Vietnam, is now psychotic, hoping to kill himself in grand fashion. He teams with the terrorist who plans on using
Holy Road suffer a nightmare tonight.
a lander to set off a bomb at the Super Bowl by crashing his aircraft into the crowded stands. There's another film called 2 Minute Warning. Los Angeles Police Department, led by Captain Peter Hawley, learns that a madman is planning to open fire on football fans in a packed Los Angeles Coliseum. We've seen the programming in films like Sums of All Fears. We've seen programming like Dark Knight Rises with Bane blowing up the football stadium, the field imploding during the actual game. Look at this compilation of clips where they programmed us and at least showed us and desensitized us of an event actually happening at the Super Bowl, which is important to note. Because remember, the television and all this stuff is the psychosis that we're stuck in, this technology psychosis. All of these eyeballs will be on the Super Bowl. It's the most watched event every single year. So any type of a psyop that's created around it will have eyeballs on it, which means that they'll be able to program them into it with whatever narrative is attached. Take a look at this compilation of clips.
The National Football League welcomes you to Miami's Orange Bowl in the championship of professional football.
What exactly is this Super Bowl?
Are you out of your mind?
Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire. And Tom, you can feel the pressure building up all week. So here we go. Super Bowl is underway. My God, here it comes.
Stadium, Corley to stadium. Signal, red alert. Get the president out of the stadium.
We're gonna shoot the thing down.
You can't shoot it down. It's filled with helium.
We are going to kill the pilot.
If anything happens to me, you use this
On the backup fuse.
Championship Sunday. The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Inside the stadium, 91,000 cheering fans. 33 exit gates. Somewhere in the stadium, an assassin waits.
Stand off it, Gary. Pad off it, quick. Don't go back to that shot unless I tell you. Understand? Just stay off it. Move.
Who will his target be? 91,000 lives that will never be the same.
Why do you take such pleasure in telling people we're not married?
There's this guy. He's gonna kill me. Still nervous? That's right. We're still gonna wait, too. Just don't get itchy.
What exactly did you see?
I told you. A man with a rifle. You get your men into place ready to move, but it's no go till we get all the VIPs out. The VIPs. The probable targets.
SWAT 6 to all SWAT units. The suspect is up, armed, and at the north end of the parapet.
We're coming up in the 2-minute warning. You ought to have your people in place by then. When the 2-minute whistle blows, it's your ball game.
He's up.
2-minute warning. After that, sudden death. This is the motion picture you have heard about. This is the motion picture you have read about. Soon, you will be talking about the motion picture shock of the year. 2-minute warning.
It's Ryan! The bomb is in play! Dylan's call for more! Ready! Let's go! Let's go!
The Russian scientists have been working on a bomb. Nuclear. It arrived in Baltimore this morning.
Those people in the stadium.
Trap, pull everyone out. Bain has been pouring concrete laced with explosives.
Where?
Let the games begin.
So all of those clips center around a big football game, and we've seen these over the years over and over and over again, and we've heard whispers of attacks. Yet this year we're not really hearing any rumors about how, Homeland Security is on high alert, or how the FBI is on high alert at Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas was also the siting of one of the other large, very large false flags that our government created, as you all remember. A lot of us got wiped off the internet at that period of time. Not me, of course, I'm brand new, but a lot of us got wiped off the internet for talking about that event in Las Vegas. That was clearly staged. And I was talking about specifically not just how fake these events are, but the narratives and the psychosis behind those, where they have these things occur at events where people think that they can go and feel safe. They don't want you to feel safe anymore. In fact, they want you to think that if you go to the grocery store or the mall, that you could be a victim of one of these attacks, thus Big Brother can step in and remove the gun or put in more security laws to keep an eye and keep tabs on all of our free speech, which is already in place, obviously, with the Patriot Act. Those clips right there, look at that theme. I mean, again, we've been trained to what? Look at movies and think that these are artistic expressions and creative writing from individuals who just randomly, write a script and then show up in Hollywood and hand it to some guy and become billionaires. Wouldn't we all do that? Okay, it's programming. Film, television, news is programming. They show you this stuff over and over and over again because they desensitize you and program you subliminally by doing it, right? We can all look back at the outbreak. How many of you woke up during the outbreak? Now, I've been awake for a long time, but I know the outbreak was something that helped wake people up, kind of like the event that happened on the 11th day of September. And when people started waking up, I noticed they finally were paying attention to all of the movies that showed them the same exact storyline as the outbreak playing out in movies. And what do the mainstream media do? They don't bring attention to it. And if they do, they just say it's crazy conspiracy junk. You know, there were literally movies with the same exact plot over and over and over again, with the quarantines in place, with the way the world looks after the fact, the distancing, the social distancing, right? They showed us in advance, then they went through with it. So I'm not saying that this is the specific Super Bowl that they would do something. What caught my eye wasn't just the headline from Joe Buck. And if you actually read deeper into the article about Joe Buck saying he's staying away from Vegas, he wasn't saying that he was staying away because he thinks there's going to be an event, but he was hinting at it by saying that, you know, it could be very messy, right? He was saying that, it's going to be congested, so he didn't want to go there because he doesn't like traffic and congestion. But the headlines were where you could really pick up the wording in that, because the headlines were leaving that part out, right? The headlines were saying there'll be a Vegas-related mess at the Super Bowl. Joe Buck predicts mess. Joe Buck has no desire to be in Las Vegas because there will be a mess, right? Those are subliminal words that they put in the headlines, right? And then in the actual article, you know, you read more into detail and they go, well, that's just clickbait. They put that in the headline and then you read the article and Joe Buck's just saying he doesn't want to go there. He doesn't want to be around people. But it also says he believes something bad is going to come out of the Super Bowl and he doesn't want to stay in Vegas. So we can always look through the stories and see stuff like that. That's why I'm covering it. And again, I'm not saying something's going to occur. I know people will comment, like, nothing happened. I told you that nothing would happen. Well, the one thing I'll guarantee that does happen at the Super Bowl is you will see agenda after agenda after agenda in the programming ads that they will pop out, which I will cover this week during the Super Bowl, and you will also see a ritual done at halftime. Because the performances are always mass rituals. You'll see the black and white Masonic chant. You'll see all that stuff with Illuminati puppet Usher. But back to this story. So you saw those movies, the compilation of those clips. There was nobody who was coming up with this idea. They're like, this is a great idea. I've never heard of this before. Because wouldn't somebody who wrote one of those films, or even The Dark Knight, which that's not the plot of the film, but wouldn't they say, hey, doing the event at a football stadium is a little bit, they've done that before in movies. I mean, they've done it in 2 Minute Warning. They've done it in Black Sunday. They even did it in Sum of All Fears, which is, that movie has the same plot with a terror event happening at a big Super Bowl game, right? A big championship game. That one was in Baltimore. Now, this Super Bowl is in Las Vegas, but just thinking about how these people were told that these people are supposed to think, somebody would say, hey, why would we make a movie? They've already done a movie about an event at a Super Bowl. Why don't we do one about an event at a basketball game? Or, even though that would be stupid too, why don't we do something about something totally different, right? They tell us this stuff and they show us this stuff. And, to me, just as much of a red flag about that Joe Buck article, or even more so maybe, is the fact that they are not gaslighting us with stories about how the Super Bowl could be the setup or the place for a big terror event, and the Department of Homeland Security, et cetera, are standing by. Every single year there is article after article after article about warnings about the Super Bowl, almost like they want to bait us into talking about it. And this year there doesn't happen to be one, while we have all this other chaos that is being done by design surrounding us. So there could be something minor that happens, there could be something major that happens, there could be nothing that happens. But I'm covering the story because we have to read between the headlines. We have to look at the predictive programming that's out there from the past. And this is something, of course, we all need to keep in our minds. I thank everybody for being here. Reminder that my channel, A Time for a Reckoning, is ready to go. Thanks to everybody out there that helped me build it out. If you haven't subscribed to it yet, I recommend you do so. It is linked below. I will be doing live streams on that channel in the future. I will be doing a lot of new content on that channel in the future. So if you like my content, don't waste the time to not subscribe. Do it now, because you might wake up and you might not see me again, and you might not remember any of the other names of my channels that I have. So I recommend you sub to all the channels and look at all the links below and make sure you're subscribed. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families, as always.